Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Alrighty. Okay. So, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time and your support on the channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations all really do help out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see. So I'm very excited. This is a new tarot deck that I've actually been waiting to get for a few months now. It was just recently released, and so I'm very excited. It looks really, really cool. So this is the first reading we're doing with it, which is awesome. Normally, I don't know why I'm going into this right now, but maybe this is somebody calling forth some extra info. Normally when I get a new deck, what I'll do is there's like a whole process to kind of like connect with the energy and build kind of like a bond with the cards more or less. And so I'll do that, and then I'll normally do a couple of personal readings, or I'll see like if my daughter wants me to pull a couple cards for her and just kind of like acquaint myself with it. So this is actually the first deck I think that I've gotten. Yeah, this is the first deck that I've gotten that the first reading is actually going to be here. So that's pretty cool. Didn't realize that till just now. So let's see. We're we're gonna just go with it. Okay. All right. And then so a random uh, extra bit of confirmation. My daughter was using my desk area to record like a little video with she has this little gnome and then this little Highland cow. Um and she left him on the desk, and I just looked down and heard that that might be confirmation for somebody. So maybe there's a message from Highland Cow for you, or that could be confirmation. Maybe you really like Highland cows or just cows in general. Anyways, take it as it resonates. Let's get into this message. Okay, we've got the Justice card. Okay. So, these are cool cards, man. Okay. So that's the Nine of Swords then. All right, so I'm going to show you the cards. We've got Justice and we've got the Nine of Dreams. So what I'm picking up, so the Nine of Dreams is the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is generally kind of like an anxiety energy. Yeah, and what I'm getting from the imagery here is it's almost like it's kind of that energy of being like feeling like you're being swallowed and that really intense, anxious type of an energy. It does feel like a little burdened, but not quite. It's not really burdened. It's like when you're just awake all the time and you're up late at night. Maybe you're dealing with insomnia, and you're just kind of in that. It's like that headspace that's just like it's that, yeah, just super anxious, um, not being able to kind of calm down and just having the thoughts just go a bazillion miles an hour. Um, but there's something switching for that. Oh, hold on, I just got into a whew. This is an intense energy. Okay, so then we've got the Five of Honey, which is the Five of Pentacles. That's the feeling of being left out in the cold, kind of a lack energy. Maybe you've been really stressed out about finances. Maybe there's something of that nature going on. Um, or just stressed about your physical world in some way. Which, as I said that, I was just like, yeah, I mean, collectively, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So this could be part of what's going on. But we've got the death card here. So there's a complete end to a cycle that is happening right now. And so I feel like part of what's going on is you are getting your justice for it's like it's almost like the tides are turning. Yeah, so we've got this little gnome over here. Okay. Hmm. What I'm kind of picking up through this imagery though is it's one of these energies of like even though you might feel like the external world isn't ideally what you would like it to be, maybe you're not experiencing the reality yet that you really desire to experience, but there's something going on here where it's like take a second look because you do have what is necessary for this phase right now. And there's something that is coming to a major close in this cycle. Okay, we've got temperance. Um, so with temperance, it's normally like balanced, or it's also about like a spiritual mentor, spiritual leader, something like that. Okay, and this one. And then we've got the Page of Skins, which is the Page of Wands. That is about, it's a passionate energy. It's also, there's a sense of kind of like, looking at things from a different perspective. And then what's going on with this Temperance card? Whew. Okay, there it is. All right. So that'd be the Three of Swords. That's heartbreak. And the Page of Wands. Okay. Oh, there's a lot going on. Okay, let's see. So, what I'm picking up here is you are in this energy where you are consciously closing out a cycle and you are allowing something to completely fall away or to completely release it from your reality. Um, and whatever it is, it's it's going to give you a complete new start almost. It's like a fresh beginning. Um, yeah, and there's also a heartbreak energy that is being released. Okay. Then what's going on is we've got okay, so we've got the Ace of Dreams. We're going to start here. The Ace of Dreams is the Ace of Swords. What that is that is either communication, which oh, no, that's the Page of Wands. Okay. So this is some sort of communication, but this can also be like an aha idea. Maybe it's an aha moment. Maybe it's a where you're like it's kind of divine inspiration. So maybe there's something that you've been waiting to do, and then you're getting the green light now. Um, So take it as it resonates, but most of the time this is going to come through in the intellectual space in some way. So in the thought, in the mind space. So it's either going to be like you're going to hear something, maybe you're going to get a message through a song, maybe it's this, I just heard that, maybe it's this message, this reading. You're going to get something in the form of communication, or it's gonna be like a thought, something like that, or you're going to be guided to communicate something. So take that as it resonates. But what this is going to do is this like aha moment, or this message that's coming through, or this push to communicate something. What that's going to do is that is leading you into the sun energy, which is very much it's joyous, it's uplifting, it's exciting. Um, it's just like a happy energy. It's a very happy, joyful energy. And then what else is going on is we've got the world, which is completion. And this is the it's energy of like having it all. That's what's really coming through for me right now on this one. And then we've got the Four of Skins, which is like the Four of Wands. Hold on, there's nudity on some of these. Okay. Sure I don't get in trouble with YouTube. All right. So with the Four of Skins, this is Four of Wands. And what that is, this is reunion energy. This is union energy. This is it can be a celebration, like a wedding, something like that. But it's really about coming together and experiencing a happy union, and most of the time it is romantic, but this can also symbolize like going to a wedding or something like that, um and celebrating. And it doesn't always have to be like an actual marriage. It's just coming together in a romantic sense, and deciding to do life together. So take it as it resonates, but that's what is on the other side of this. And I feel like what's happened is you've been in this energy of just, financially struggling, mentally struggling, um, just having a lot going on, being in that just uh, difficult, one of those difficult phases of life. Like, just sometimes there's those phases. And what's happening is there's a complete ending to that cycle, and you are moving into this energy here. And with the Seven of Skins, interestingly enough, I'm actually being told to look at this one. So, let's see here. Okay. So this so the number 7 sets boundaries and tells us to fight for what we believe in and what we need. What do you feel compelled to protect? Where do your instincts cause you to react defensively? Is what you're defending beneficial to you? Is it something you need? Are you defending something you feel passionate about, or are you defending yourself from newness and change? What boundaries do you need to set? Do you know what your boundaries are, and do you feel confident in your ability to hold them? Okay, so there's something going on with you. Okay, this makes sense. So what I feel like has happened is you've gone through this period of like deep, deep healing, deep inner work, very transformative energy. And then now you're shifting into this energy, and part of what is allowing you to shift into this energy is healthy boundaries. And I feel like part of this is also reminding you that when you do go forward in this way, just remember your boundaries, and remember that healthy boundaries are a good thing. um and the right person, if this is romantic, or the right situation for you, maybe it's career, something like that, the right situation or the right person is going to respect healthy boundaries. um and they're going to have their own, if it's another person. So yeah, take it as it resonates, but I do feel like for a lot of you there is some sort of romantic thread going on, mainly because of this Four of Skins, this Four of Wands, reconciliation, union kind of energy, mixed with the sun in the world. And so it's a very joyous, very I just heard happy harmonious union, which has been coming through in the readings a lot. Which is kind of funny. I was not expecting it to take that turn. Okay, and then we've got the Fool. And so the Fool is about taking a leap of faith. It's about allowing yourself to move forward. Um and go in the direction of the thing that you're being called to do, of the thing that lights you up. Again, for some of you, there it's definitely going to be a person. For others of you, this might be something like a career change, or maybe a creative pursuit, passion, something like that. um but yeah, it's really about allowing yourself to take this leap into when I looked at this card, I heard go through that door and go on your quest. Um, which is awesome. I mean, quests are pretty great. Um, Eight of Honey. This is the Eight of Cups. No, it's not. Just kidding. This is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So there's definitely something here with a turnaround in your finances and your physical expression and your physical like world. These cards, this is really interesting. This pulling me into a deep channeled state. So sometimes when I'm in this state, words don't do things, words don't word properly. Plus we're in Mercury retrograde, so just, bear with me. We'll get this message out. Okay. Then we've got the Queen of Dreams, which would be the Queen of Swords. This is, hmm, is this their energy? Okay. So there's a few different threads that I'm picking up. For those of you that this is like a romantic situation, um, I feel like you may look at this person as though they're in this Queen of Swords energy or Queen of Dreams, which is very intellectual, very like hardcore boundaries, but the perception from the Queen of Swords can be sometimes that they're a little bit cold. Um, so just take that as it resonates. I don't, in this energy, if that is for you, I don't feel like this person is truly cold per se. I do feel like this person has probably been through quite a bit just in life and learned a lot of lessons and things like that, and so will not hesitate to pull out that sword, so to speak, and be like, nope, there's a boundary. But I don't feel like it's not in a cold, like detached way. um and then for some of you, just and take it as it resonates. um what's happening here is you are being called to get into this energy, to really know your boundaries and to really be able to stand. I just heard stand on business. um to really stand in your truth, speak your truth, and also, have those boundaries, and just be mindful that it's not completely emotionally detached, but I mean, it is very much like a logical type of an energy. Um, then what we've got is the Tower. The Tower is divine intervention. The Tower is completely, most of the time it's completely life changing. It's big life changes. And so what I feel like is happening here is, oh, is that the message? Okay. Because of the placement, because I didn't see the Tower, I thought it was just the Queen of Dreams. What I'm picking up is that if you choose not to follow this advice, this aha moment, really listen to this communication or listen to this message when it comes in, or if you are resonating with needing to communicate something to somebody, what's happening is if you choose not to do this, then what's going to happen is a Tower moment is is coming. Um, Basically what I'm picking up is that there is a tower moment either currently happening or on the horizon for you. The towers aren't always bad. I just have to say that. And the thing is too is it depends on how you look at it. So from the human perspective, sometimes we'll look at it and be like, "Ooh, that was bad." But every time when you look back, it's like, "Oh, I see why that had to happen. And I see why, this thing happened." But it's always big changes, big life-changing things. So this is like, you're getting the nudge to find a different job, and you're ignoring the nudge, and spirit's coming through like, hey, it's time to look for a new job, it's time to look for a new job, and then you ignore that guidance, and then all of a sudden something happens and that company closes down. It's that kind of a thing. So it's one of those, like, you're going to be okay, you're going to find the job, but to make the tower easier and not so just intense, when you're being called for a life change, if you follow that guidance when it comes in, then it makes these moments pleasant and more just easy to go through from the human perspective. But if we ignore it, then like it's going to happen either way. So it's one of those, if you listen to the guidance that's coming through and you do what you're being asked to do in alignment, stay authentic, all of that, and you're really following and heeding that guidance, then it's going to allow you to process this big life changing thing in a very it just in a less like, um, uh, because I mean, it's still impactful, it's still a big thing, but it's less like disruptive. Just kind of in that job example, like if you heed the advice and find a new job and then transition into that new job, then when you hear that that company closed its doors, you're like, whew, dodged a bullet. Ultimately, you're still in that new job. So regardless of which way you take, that's what's happening because that's, just what's going to happen. But if you follow that guidance, it can just make it easier on yourself in the long run. So there's something going on here with that. Um, okay, I'm also being called to read the Eight of Honey, so give me just a second. All right, so the Eight of Honey is it's the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so it's talking about discipline. Um, Eight is about building your craft, developing your expertise, and putting in the hard work. What skills do you want to cultivate within yourself? What is your work? How do you commit yourself to your work? And who can you look to for guidance in honing your craft? Okay, so maybe this is about communicating with somebody that can help you when it comes to your career. Um, yeah, so that's going to be the case for some of you. For some of you, you're going to get some insight about something to do with your career, and then some. I'm really picking up two main threads. I'm picking up career and then relationship. So just take it as it resonates. We'll kind of keep bouncing back and forth. But ultimately, yeah, I feel like you're at this point of it's one of those like your justice from just being, who you are and walking this path and all of that. It's really leading you into this next phase of life. And in this next phase of life, you are required to take a leap in some direction. But it's ultimately going to lead to there's, happiness within a romantic relationship. And then also there's this sun energy is just the sun and the world together is really about um just completion of a major cycle, which is really interesting too because we've got the fool and the world, and so this is like the start of a cycle and this is a completion. So there's something about about taking this leap and moving into this new energy there's also a completion of it. And so I feel like maybe, okay, so let's say that this is a person. This would be you taking a leap to, be in a relationship with somebody that brings in a completion to maybe just difficulties in romantic relationships. And then that pulls you into the sun energy where you can just enjoy it. And it's just there's a sense of like ease and compatibility. That's a big, big thing coming through is like compatibility and just it's like generosity, mutuality, reciprocity. It's that type of a union. The other thread, if this is career, it's basically the same energy, but with career. So this would be taking a leap in a direction. Maybe this is starting your own business. That would close out a cycle of working like a 9 to 5 type of thing. And then that pulls you into the sun energy when it comes to your career. And then for some of you, it's going to be both. At some point, it's both. There's this effect of a romantic relationship and your career. Um, but I'm not really getting like what's going to come first, or if it's you know, you're going to be working with the person that you're also in a romantic relationship with. Maybe that's it because it's kind of it's like an either or thread, and then there's like a combined thread of energy. So just take it as it resonates. Okay. So I'm oh, interesting. Is that part of this as well? Ace of Wands. Okay, so when I went to pull this deck out of my little holder thing over here, this deck sits in front of it like this. So when I pulled this one out, this card flipped with it. And normally when that happens, this is an extra little bit of the reading. We've got the Ace of Wands, and when I looked at it, I heard the Passion Stick. So if the romantic thread of energy is connecting for you, there is a lot of passion between you and this other person. If this is like the job situation, this is going to be a job or a career or something like that that really brings you that passion. And there's a creative expression as well. And then also, in the other sense, that's also activating the sacral chakra as well. So, take that as it resonates. Okay. What else are we going to pull through for? Hmm. What else? Spirit. Oh, says these cards are very, very activating. Sometimes there's just different divination tools that can just activate like crazy. This new deck, this Blood Moon Tarot deck, holy shit. Very activating. So if you read tarot, I would highly recommend this deck. Um, It's very, very activating. Okay, we've got caring connections. So, yeah, that's just extra confirmation. If you are identifying with the romantic thread, if that's what's resonating, this is somebody who, like, this is your person. Um, and you know it. I don't feel like this is a situation where you haven't met this person yet. I feel like you know who this person is. Um, yeah, yeah. If you haven't met this person, it's still resonating, take it as it resonates. It could be that energetically you have already, because sometimes what will happen is like in the 5D will meet like another soul. It's kind of a weird thing to explain, but basically it'll be like especially if there's like a heavy soul contract or like something like this is your romantic person for the rest of this life. Something like that. Your souls have already communicated in the 5D. And then so what can happen is you will energetically be picking up on them and then you'll meet them in the physical. Um so that could be what's going on too. If you haven't actually met this person in the physical, you can feel their energy. Um, or you're like dreaming about them or something like that. So Okay. And then we've got blossoming abundance. So yes, this is definitely in both those areas of life. There's a close to how you lived life. The struggles, the difficulties, the lack mentality, the limiting beliefs. I feel like you've done a lot of work on that, and now you are coming into this place of being able to open yourself up to just enjoy a completely different type of experience, like life experience. Ooh, okay. More from this one. Okay. Okay, we've got attachment. Hmm. Okay. Okay. We've got attachment, contract, and anxiety. What could be preventing you from fully taking this leap is that anxiety energy, which I was picking up with this Nine of Dreams card at the very beginning of this reading. So, what could be preventing you from fully taking this leap is this kind of anxiety energy. And just really kind of ruminating and getting stuck in your head and insomnia and sleepless nights and all of that kind of thing, and really just like really kind of stressing out about this situation or just life in general. Um, and then with contract, this can be, well, it landed on caring connections. So for some of you, take this if it resonates. For some of you, part of what's going on is maybe you are kind of fantasizing about um like being married to this person. Um Take that if it resonates, just as extra confirmation. The other thing that could be going on is if this other person is in a relationship, then that could be what's going on here. Or maybe you are in a committed relationship with somebody else. And that's what's causing some of this anxiety is because your heart is desiring to go in this direction, but you are already spoken for, basically. And so it's going to create a whole you know, upheaval to really be able to anchor in this new connection. So that's for the romantic thread. I'm not really picking up that this has to do with the career thread, so I'm just gonna let this be for the romantic thread. Attachment. There could be so attachment came out on this death card. So there could still be something that you are attaching to that you're being called to release right now so that you can fully take this leap. Um, and for some of you, this is going to be allowing yourself to release that anxious energy, those and just that kind of like going over it and over and over it in your head. So take it as it resonates. And then for some of you, maybe this literally is about, quitting a job and going in a different direction or something like that. But this is really about holding on to something that no longer serves your highest good. What else? Okay, and then we've got strategy. Holy shit. Okay, so the strategy card is about okay, is that reverse? That is in reverse. I thought so. Okay, so we've got strategy. So for those of you that are in a committed relationship and you are wanting to exit that relationship, um, then there's something about, coming up with a strategy and, uh, plan on how to do that. For some of you, if you If that doesn't resonate for you, then what I feel like you're being called to do is come up with a strategy on anchoring in this connection, this romantic connection. Then for the other threads of energy here that's talking about career, there's something that you're being called to do, and that could be where this I don't know where it went. There's the Ace of Swords. That could be where this is coming into, is opening yourself up to allow that aha moment to come through, allow that strategy to come through. So if you are looking at switching careers, then open yourself up to that guidance in whatever way that is for you, and allow that strategy to come through, and that's going to guide you on how to navigate this life change without it being so um disruptive or chaotic. um because that's kind of the thing. If we listen to the guidance, and I was kind of, getting to this earlier, if we listen to the guidance and follow that guidance, then it's not so disruptive, it's not so chaotic, it's not so stressful in the long term. It's when we ignore that guidance and keep doing this thing, and then, you know, the divine comes through and is like, "Yep, nope, that's not it for you anymore." And then that's, it's kind of like pulling you out of that situation, to where if you listen to it and then you just start, like, "Okay, we're going this way now," then it's just a little bit easier of a process. But ultimately, it accomplishes the same thing. Okay. Wow. All right. So we've got the broken heart, and it did come out in reverse. So what this is talking about is you have really done a lot of the inner work, the heart healing, things like that, where you are now operating from a different place, to where you are open to being able to experience uplifting, joyful experiences, because you're coming from a heart open space instead of heart closed off, like a closed off heart space. So you're ready for this, you're ready to take this leap. um okay. So when I set this broken heart this broken heart card down on this attachment card, what I heard is that this might be what you're being called to let go of, is thinking that you still have a bunch of like wounding and stuff, because even if it's only been like a week or something since you've really done like a big healing of some sort, and it doesn't even have to be like like a super conscious thing, but I do feel like in this case it was probably at least semi-conscious, like, this wasn't just a subconscious thing that just happened. I feel like you've been consciously working on some inner work and some healing and things like that, and so maybe what it is you were so used to being in this closed off heart space for so long, that you are still, it's like you opened up that heart space, so you're no longer coming from that place, but there is still the part of you that thinks that you are coming from that place, and so it's stopping you from moving forward, because you're worried that you're going to sabotage this, or you're not going to be ready for it, or you're going to be rejected, or something like that. And so that could be what this attachment card is talking about, is releasing the attachment to the old identity, and in the old way that you used to show up in, and allowing yourself to show up in this new energy and in this new way. Okay. That's deep, spirit. Is deep. Okay. The Temple Path card. This is about walking the path. I always say back to self, which I, if you know, you know. But if that doesn't make any sense to you, that's okay. You're on this path. Ultimately, what it is it's the path to connecting with spirit. Having that divine connection in whatever divine forces you work with. And it's also about remembering who you are, at a soul level, beneath the human mask. Um, and there's also the mask in this attachment card, and I do feel like you've dropped a lot of that mask already. So this is just letting you know to continue to walk this path, because the more you continue to commit to this path, the more you're going to experience the life beyond your wildest dreams, is what I just heard. That's cool. And then we've got the happy family, which is definitely a part of this. Um, these two cards right here literally mean the same thing. The Four of Wands and the happy family. That is reunion, union, combining families, having a family, starting a family, growing your family, etc. So this is really just to really drive that point home that this is what is on the other side of this leap for you. And then we've got appreciation and patience. So, um, is this saying to wait? No. Is this saying the time is now? Okay. Stay in the attitude of gratitude. Stay in this appreciation energy because that is what is going to allow you to continue to really take this leap. And then with this patience card, okay, I am being told to read it. Um, interesting. And appreciation. So choose gratitude. Okay. So this is talking about letting go of desperation. That's right. Okay. It's time to release the old urgency and look at things with a much clearer perspective. This is telling you to relax and let go of the single minded desperation that's been driving you. Don't try to force your will on only one option. You could potentially be blocking other solutions from coming your way. Let go of anxiety and be flexible. Be patient, open, and creative. Okay, so I feel like that's just really kind of reminding you to do your best to pull into the present moment and listen for the guidance from that place because I feel like what's happening, especially with the original way that the first set of tarot cards that came out, it was like this energy up here and then this energy down here. And so it's like this energy up here was the energy that you were in. And now you're being called into this new energy. And it's up to you to actually willingly make that choice. You're being called that way. You're being guided that way. You're being, kind of divinely pushed onto this path. I feel like some of you are being pushed a little bit harder than others right now from the divine, but it's one of these like the time is now to allow yourself to shift into this energy. And what's on the other side of this is, I mean, it's pretty great. Like it really is. It's a continuing of walking the spiritual path. It's a, happy family energy. We've got the completion energy, the world card. Okay, interesting. I just got told to read that one. So we're gonna read it. Okay. So so it's talking about the wholeness of things. Wholeness, expansiveness, and completion. Um the world is one with all that surrounds her. It's talking about the imagery. She sees every small detail and hears every story. She is wholeness personified. So there's no gender in tarot. I just want to say that, but it's that was just a description of the imagery. So what this card is asking you is, are you in harmony with the world around you? When do you feel most connected to the expanse beyond your own being? What can you do to reach those sensations of wholeness and harmony? What journeys have come to an end, and what new journeys are about to begin? How can you celebrate? And then literally the card following that is the celebration card. So I feel like this is really just coming through to let you know that you do have this available to you if you choose it. And at this point, there is definitely something with communicating. There's definitely something with taking this leap. And take it as it resonates. For some of you, this is going to be communicating with somebody that you are romantically interested in. Some of you, this is going to be communicating like in a job interview. or maybe applying for a business loan to start your own business, something like that. And it can also be like writing. So, um it could also be like writing a proposal of some sort, a business proposal, a business plan, applying for a grant, something like that. There's definitely something that's coming up when it comes to that, which also makes sense because of the Mercury retrograde thing. That's, it's definitely a communicative time. Um, so yeah, there's definitely it's just coming through to let you know that this is what you've been doing all this inner work for, is to experience this energy, this happy family. And for some of you, maybe the happy family thing is just having really, really good, beautiful, awesome, um soul-based, like, friendships, like soul brothers and sisters kind of energy. Maybe you're not looking for a romantic situation right now. And if you're not, then this is just letting you know that regardless, you have these beautiful connections that are a part of this next phase of your life, as well as uh a level up in career, in finances, in some way. Okay, and then I just got told to read the sun, which is interesting. So get a little more clarity here. Okay, joy, simplicity, and serenity. This card asks, what is joyful in your life? Do you find pleasure in simple things, in peaceful things? When was the last time you let yourself experience childlike wonder and joy? How can you welcome more joy into your life, and how can you bring joy to others? So yeah, it's really just letting you know that there's going to be way more opportunities for you to experience joy when you take this leap, because it's also about energetically choosing your vibration. So, how can I explain this? Basically, what it is it's putting a rest to the old way that you used to do things. So, no more lack mentality, subconscious this, shadow projections that. Um, take it as resonates. But it's really about not showing up in this wounded, triggered, heavily masked ego state, and then shifting into this energy where you know who you are at some degree. It's a journey. Like, that's part of why I say it's the path back to self, because there's always another layer to go. There's always more to learn. There's always more to, discover when we go within. Um but it's really about, choosing that path, committing to that path, and committing to be your highest version of self, your best version of self, and continuing to do what that requires of you. Well, when you're in that energy and you're operating from that energy and you're looking at things from a place of gratitude, and you're looking at life from a lens of what opportunities, do I have to look forward to today? It's a very different way of showing up. It's a very different way of, experiencing your physical reality, because of that shift in your internal state. Hopefully that makes sense. But it's really just coming through to let you know that, like, you're at this pivotal point, and ultimately what's happening, like, there's divine intervention coming. You're getting the signs, you're getting the pushes and everything else, because you're being asked to walk through this door, so to speak. You're being asked to willingly take this leap, and willingly walk through this door, and go on your quest to happiness, success, and joy. Um And this message is also coming through to let you know that there's really no going back at this point. You've come far enough to where it's not like you can be like, oh, just kidding. I'm just gonna, plug back in. So the imagery that I'm being shown is the scene in The Matrix, the first movie, The Matrix, where Neo wakes up and he's experiencing everything for the first time. And then, Morpheus basically says, like, you can't go back. And then asks, but would you want to if you could? It's kind of that energy. The divine's coming through that's like, you can't go back. Those doors are closed. You energetically, like, you're too aware of what's going on now. Your soul is not going to let you go back because it's about soul expansion. So this is the journey of soul expansion. That's what you chose at a soul level. Your human self, started to catch the memo and you've come far enough now. So there's no going back. So if you choose not to take this leap, now that you're being asked to take this leap, there is going to be a tower moment that comes in that's going to be way more uncomfortable than if you follow the guidance now. But ultimately, like, you are shifting into this energy. So are you going to allow yourself to do it and listen to the guidance and do what you're being asked to do? Or are you going to sit there and dig your feet in and then, you know, see what the universe has in store for you on that side of things? But ultimately, you are shifting into this energy. Like, it's kind of inevitable at this point, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. This is part of your path. This is part of your soul expansion. So it's a good thing. Now it's just, is your human self going to follow the guidance and, take those steps and do those things that you're being asked to do? Or is the divine going to have to come through and, hit you in the head a few times? Like, trust me, I get it. I have a stubborn streak, something I'm working on still, but, you know, so I do get it. But it's just one of those, the more, and I still do it. So that's why I'm laughing, because I'll get the guidance and I'm like, damn it. Are we really doing this? Okay, let go of this, let go of that. Nothing can go with you. Like, fuck. So I do get it. I do get it. It's one of those, like, from the human perspective, sometimes it's like, but it was okay though. And in the universe, your higher self, whatever you work with, is like, I mean, but you came here to experience great. So we're going to shift you out of this okay, comfortable energy because you came here to experience this. So get with the program. So, anyways. Well, okay. With that, I could just go on and on in this energy. I really could, but I am actually going to leave this here. This is a beautiful message. This is a very transformative time for you. Whenever you're watching this, you are in a massive transformation. You are in this energy of, once you fully shift into this energy and take this leap and embody what is in the next phase for you, you're going to look back and it's going to be almost an identifiable moment where you're like, I was living from this point, from this perspective, and experiencing life in this way. And then I went through this and that and this and that and chose to walk this path back to self and listen to the divine, and listen to my higher self and source and everything else. I chose to do massive healing. And now I'm experiencing all these beautiful blessings, all of these awesome things. And I'm skipping down the beach with my loved ones and working, the having the job of my dreams, career of my dreams, with abundance, to the point where I'm not sitting there stressed on if, my electric bill is going to be paid on time. It's that type of a thing where it's just totally shifting into a completely different way of experiencing life. So this is beautiful. This really is awesome. I could just sit here and hang out in this energy because you got some bomb stuff coming for you. So that's really cool. Okay, if this resonates, you can let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. And I do read all of the comments and I do my best to reply back as well. If you like this message, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you, thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.